There you go. Got it.
Did you see your papers that have the record? You know your role.
So, you know, next month I'm gonna be gone.
Yeah.
But you know that, are 3 weeks we're gonna be on the road. You know, Mary and I both. And we decided, well, this is gonna be a 3-week road trip.
The stuff is over there, huh?
Yeah, it was,
CPU fan doesn't kick on, but the hard drive kick on, someone was. Take a picture of every over there. See how much it would.
That's not.
Really?
I know that they are. No, you're welcome. You're only allowed to. I didn't buy.
Somebody threw the switch. It'll be really. So what's going on? Well, I'm on the looking at it. Oh, yeah.
You're welcome. That's gonna be. Amazing. 11 months out of the year. I think we imagine all of those and I didn't give them a more. Yeah. I'm doing it. Yeah. It's
That'll be a pleasure. This was what this was. We'd have to do that. Are you guys? He'll changing the opening bill. I'm talking to you about it. You said something about, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, that's it.
No, I'm just.
I think I might have.
I couldn't sign up. How you doing?
What you reading? That's why everything I know.
I gotta read this, or is he gonna just? Oh. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's, so you pick 5.
Either he's gonna read that or he's gonna have him come down.
Oh.
Emblems are.
Well, now, this is a door across.
He said he wants to because
He said. Yeah. Now the term is working, so. All right, so. And then he's got a knife down. Yeah, this one is council. This one.
First night.
You have counted. This was a word doc.
You'll see what he.
It's got a much simpler thing. Say what you would say. Hey, that says. And then I at the bottom.
So you don't, you want saying.
All right. Oh, okay.
I'm good with this. I'll be the one that would.
You have a copy of it. You're in there, send it, right?
Yeah.
We did not find, put up on the screen. Next time. We'll be ready to-
So what I'll do is that I read this, test this on you. That's fine. And I need this to read it, yeah, but then I'm thinking, just read the buttons.
Yeah.
5 years. This is so far.
Yeah, just, what it is, so that's what you say. You say that. You say that. Okay. Principal, yeah.
Couldn't figure it out.
And once you're done, you give it to me. And I'll,
Exactly what happened. Put a hand up like that.
just one meeting. Here's the. Okay. So now, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. Is mic on? Am I good? I'm spitting on it and I'm close enough, right? Okay. So tonight we're about to open this meeting in the fourth section. Let our faithful officers assume their respective stations and faithful inner and outer sentinels take their posts. Pause. I don't check anyone that's coming in here, so you stay right where you're at. We're changing things up a little bit because I've gotten feedback and I've heard the feedback, and we're streamlining this to be like the business meeting it's supposed to be. As we'll find out, we have 1, 2, or 3 individuals that are not here tonight. So no call, no show, and that puts me and my captain and admiral in a tough spot. But we can, with what's present as far as officers, conduct a meaningful meeting that's worth recording and getting stuff done. So with that, I'm just reading this and all the things that we looked at, I still gotta iron out. So with that, as far as I know, when I call on the individuals, that'll be a first time that we know that that individual is not present. And right now, as I look across, I could see that faithful pilot's not here, my trustees are not here, and so on and so forth. So as I call, and I do know that our faithful purser is not here and he's really ill. So in any case, so with that, we're going to forego the roll of order, and then I'm going to ask Captain to explain our 3 emblems of our assembly. So.
Okay, first of all, just a quick review here. The principle of our 4th degree is patriotism. Our duty to our country is to respect and obey all lawful authority, uphold and maintain those whose duty it is to administer the law, to defend and preserve, unspotted and unstained, the flag of our country and the principles to which it stands. We have a duty as faithful knights to maintain unity, to practice the virtues of charity and brotherly love, to exemplify all our relations with our fellow men the sublime teachings of Holy Mother Church. The symbols of our 4th degree are the flag. And we keep in mind that our flag was founded as one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The sword, we pledge to uphold lawful authority and defend our faith. And the cross, we recognize and remember that this was the cross of Christ, that our Lord gave his life for our salvation. So brothers, we remember these 3 symbols and hold them close.
Thank you. All stand, face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag and the United States of America, and to the republic for which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Stand or kneel and say our Father, in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses, and we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen. Amen. You seated? Okay, so first on the agenda is a reading of last month's minutes. Yes.
Worthy faithful navigator, I'd like to make a motion, we dispense with the reading of the minutes and accept them as written and published.
All right,
Second.
second. All right, there's a motion on the floor to dispense with the reading of the minutes and add them as written and posted. So all in favor, say aye. Ayes have it, thank you. Reading of bills and communication. I don't know if you all remember, but Ethan Xavier, the young man that was doing a research paper on Knights of Columbus, and he was here with his dad. And so he sent a card, and it took a while to read it, but penmanship, apparently it's not stressed. But anyway, a personal note of thanks. Thank you for being the first Knight of Columbus I have met. You are a wealth of knowledge, and I live in, I don't know what that word is. Oh, in principle. One day I hope to help and mentor knights too. So looking at being a future knight, we put on a good demonstration of what our faith and our order is all about. And then his supporting mother wrote this letter. Dear Mr. Cardona and Knights of Columbus, that'd be you guys. Thank you for welcoming me and my dad to the Knights of Columbus meeting on February 6th, 2023. I am wrapping up my Faith in Action project, and I want to let you know, and all the Knights know, that what a wonderful night my dad and I had. This quote has stuck with me. Our ministry has us experiencing and witnessing things that inspire us. We get to do a lot of good work and often find that we gain more, much more, that we give serving the Lord and feeding the sheep. Corey, that must have been a quote from you. Yeah. I found that Knights of Columbus to be very inspiring and can't wait to share my interest and knowledge about the Knights with my peers. I have sure enjoyed running into different Knights of Columbus and other parishioners at church, fundraisers, and just out and about. Thanks again. I really enjoy visiting with the members and getting a better understanding of the great work of the Knights of Columbus provides our community. I do think that my friends will be excited to hear about the Knights of Columbus at our annual Faith in Action Fair. I would like to invite you and the Knights of Columbus, if you would like to attend the fair. This letter came the day of the fair, so it was not possible to attend. That shows off our works at the end of March. There will be an array of different projects. Mrs. Yoga and St. Ignatius would be thrilled to have your support. Please join us Friday, March 31st and 35. And it's signed, he signed it, but his parachute mom, helicopter mom, did a wonderful job, sweet, sweet lady. And the benefit of this, besides maybe influencing a young man to become a knight, sharing his experience with other young men, hopefully. I mean, we don't have squires, but what an opportunity. You would think maybe Bishop Kelly, having all other squires. But I have to be selfish, but for me, it's mom, dad, sister, Ethan, and 6 of their closest friends helping with the exemplification dinner, busting the tables and all that. Because I'm from New York, I said, I need something back in return for this. And they were so gracious and accepted. So they were just a wonderful, wonderful family, wonderful individuals. So this is from our let's see. This is from Bruce, financial secretary, faithful navigator Joe Cardona, and all that other stuff. Net proceeds from the April cinnamon rolls for benefit of veterans program. It has a check number. Dear faithful navigator Joe, enclosed is a check 2026 in the amount of $2,589.35, resulting from the reference cinnamon roll sales. So I know I put this out on the agenda, but this is the most important part to me of this letter. I commend the excellent armed forces display you provided at the booth to encourage patriotic participation from the Holy Apostles parishioners. Why this became particularly important, and if I'm repeating myself, I apologize. ICU nurse, ER, you come to my ICU and I have you. You come to my ER gurney and I have you. My expectation for me is to be 100%, to make no mistakes. And why this was very timely was because 1 or 2 parishioners, although the vast majority enjoyed the display that was out there, showing veterans, and I brought the pieces from my museum. All I heard was 1 or 2 who objected to the M16 toy gun that was there. Could not appreciate the reason why we had the cinnamon roll fundraiser. And so I tell you about what's unique about me. Well, I'm always critical of myself about being up here and standing in front of you, because I cannot make a mistake. And so I don't let myself make a mistake. And when I have to tell you that when you're in a patient care setting, critical setting, 99 patients, family members can say, you're the best thing since sliced bread. But I will tell you, unfortunately, if that one person comes and says a negative, disparaging word to you, unfortunately, that's what you take home as someone that wants to perform without error or without patient satisfaction. And so, anyway, that's why that letter was so meaningful to me. So, move on. Report of the faithful navigator. I gave everyone a copy from me. Busy month. A lot of activities at the at the council level. And by apologize for that. Well, I'll just do it from my name. So, first thing is, the opportunity exists for improvement regarding communications. And that, there are some minute things like the barn that needs to be shared with everyone. I have on display there just a couple of the pamphlets for promoting Knights of Columbus. For me personally, I didn't know there was a secret room. I didn't know there was a secret place for hiding the key to the room. But when I went in there, I was just so surprised. And I totally get it, because the biggest challenge of our supplies and equipment is going to be when that barn goes away, where are all those items going to be temporarily stored. For example, we had a couple of falls, and even last Saturday, and we needed a wheelchair with footboards and footrest. So just imagine you got someone that fainted, fell, whatever, and then you're trying to wheel them out of the church, and you're saying, "Sir, ma'am, raise your feet because I'm pushing you." But in the secret room, there's 2 wheelchairs with footrests, what we could use over here. Not a dig against anybody. This place is in constant transition, but it's one of those things that we just got to share the information that's needed. Last thing with communication, if something's not right, then we need to send up the flag and make the call. And it just so happened that an individual above me made a public announcement that was derelict in 2 reports. And I will tell you that if you know me, if you tell me I need to do something, you can stop worrying about it. It's going to be done, and to the best of my effort, and I will have somebody proofread it. Well, the 2 reports were on finance and on activity of the assembly. Well, how would I know that those 2 reports are required if I'm not told? And training, right? Training, Maximilian. So in 3 months, Robert and I, we knocked it out. So I know there's 2 reports due in January. I know what they're all about. And I know my teammate that we could get it done. But it's all about communication. And so if something is not there on time, then it behooves my supervisor to let me know in a timely fashion so that I can get the job done right. Because my actions, accomplishments reflect you. And I want this assembly to look great. So opportunity for the other thing that we have is as far as all hands on deck, and then I'll talk about that later. But we just really need, if you're not anxious about 6 men, then as your faithful navigator, I have failed to communicate the importance and the seriousness of this exemplification. We're talking about the future of our assembly. We're talking about the future of Knights of Columbus. And I remember past Grand Knight, Tom Coops, was trying to lead a council. And I called them the sisters. They would sit in the back and they would have their own meeting. So I went up as the deputy Grand Knight and addressed them. Hey, Grand Knight's talking, and we all have courtesy to listen. And so the significance of this story is that this is the way we've been doing it for 20 years, and we're not going to change. I taught quality in the Air Force for 10 years. And I never, ever thought in my life I would ever hear that this is the way we've done it for 20 years, and we're not going to change. And my immediate response, I think the colonel came out of me, was, then you have a dead Knights of Columbus Council and Assembly. That's your attitude. So, communications. That's just really important. So our future, the future really of the Treasure Valley is at stake with this exemplification. I kid you not. We have about 26 if NAPA comes through, we're talking about 30 candidates for Saturday. Wow. I slept in the last 2 weeks, but I'm so excited that we're going to put on a great ceremony. We're going to put on a great cocktail hour, and we're going to put on a great dinner, because we got really good help and volunteers that have stepped out to help. So anyway, that's my report. Any questions regarding report of the comptroller?
We have 123 members. I still have 8 unpaid, but I've been working through. I think we should divide it to about 2 within the next week or so.
All right, thank you. And
Sorry, you didn't want me to repeat it?
okay, and just with your report, that the 2 reports that were due to Supreme, we got those out together. Also, a report of the favorite purser and Paul Edwards, unfortunately, is very sick. He could hardly talk on the phone.
Okay, so we ended last month with $6,503.42. We had one deposit of $215, 110 of which was dues, and $5 extra that as a donation. One check went out for $75 for DA bingo. So we ended up the balance on April 30th of $6,643.42.
Thank you. Okay, report of Color Corps Commander. We did confirmation, Color Corps did confirmation on the 25th of April. And there was over probably 250. They had 70 confirmation young people, and then their spouses and family and whatever. It almost looked like a regular mass with the number of people with there. It went really well. I do want to tell you that in the past, Bishop Peter would say, I cannot recognize you publicly all the time, but no, I appreciate you. But he recognized us and the true value of the Treasure Valley Knights of Columbus Color Corps really came through, because we had other Color Corps members from the other assemblies come join us. And we were about 14, 15 strong for that. And what a great image and impression and service we did for all those who were in attendance for that confirmation mass. We get to do it again on 3 May, which is Wednesday. The First Communion at St. Mark's. They have 3 churches or congregations coming together.
Confirmation. It's confirmation.
Confirmation?
Yes.
Oh, because they have it down
I
as
know.
First Communion.
I know.
Oh, that's ever okay.
Been floating.
I stand at the mic correctly. Thank you. Well, it's going to be the same thing for session. Very good. But Bishop Peter did compliment us publicly for our support. Last is Holy Apostles changing of colors. I'm going to have that the 30th of May after the daily mass. Although that's a Tuesday. Although officially Memorial Day is recognized on Monday. I'm going to be out of town, just coming in. I just thought that on Tuesday it would be a lot better with the regular numbers, and then we'll do it out here. Our flag, I think, may be protected by the trees. It's lasted longer than the one of St. Ignatius. St. Ignatius, after 6 months, looked terrible. Ours is sort of reasonable, and that's why I thought it was okay to do the delay. Okay. No questions regarding Color Corps. Report of committees, admissions, reading of applications.
We're the Table Navigator, as you have alluded to earlier. We have pushing upwards towards 30 members applying to be exemplified this coming Saturday. It was a mere 90 days ago where we thought this may not even happen at all. So, you know, the good Lord provides. And I think a lot of people were enticed, educated with the training session that I believe that you conducted. And I think that opened it up for a lot of new people. So, and of course, in our exemplifications of charity, unity, and fraternity, our combined degree, we always talk up the fourth degree. And maybe that made a difference as well. But as far as any fresh within this past week things, I do not have any further applications.
And what was really nice about that ceremony, we got a candidate from to come to the exemplification when he goes there.
Right.
That's pretty special.
Right. Well, we're kind of on the subject real quickly. For those who find that their schedules might have opened up, is there still at this late date a possibility that they can reserve a spot at the dinner, or are all the places closed at this time?
No, they're still open at 1 o'clock tomorrow. I will give Louis the final count. Right now, I have a count of 60. And some of that, I'm sure, but I probably will need to order at least enough food for 80 people. But I won't have it. I'm waiting till tomorrow at 1 o'clock, and then after that,
Okay.
you know, so sorry, so sad.
Right. So for those who might be on the fence, there's still a possibility. So up to 20 more places could possibly. I think you'll get a lot out of it if you attended as an observer. Number one, during the ceremony, and as far as dinner as well. It means so much for those new Sir Knights to have an audience, as well as just the camaraderie and your presence. It may mean so much to them. So if you can swing it, we certainly invite you to. So that's all I have.
All right, thank you very much. And my plan is at the dinner is to divide the new Sir Knights at different tables and have us experience people at each of those tables so that we can intermingle and show them what it's like being a Sir Knight. With that, Welfare Committee.
Nothing to report, but it sounds like what you said, I better get a card up, Mr. Paulette. That's all.
Okay, thank you. VA hospital home.
For the nights we had, we held a bingo last Saturday. We had 6 patients, and thank you, John Barron, for showing up. Because he called for the entire 2 hours. Probably couldn't talk after that.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, we had 6 patients, like I said, and we put out about somewhere around $100. Some of that was gift money, the dollar coins, and the food. We typically hand out brownies and lemon cakes and cookies and drinks and things like that. So they were, as always, those guys down there are very, very appreciative of the things we do for them. And we hear that from the staff there as well. They're always thanking us that the patients tell them that it's a great thing that we do. So we have another bingo coming up in May. It's going to be hosted by Nampa. There's 2 gentlemen there. One of them One of the younger gentlemen is about 80 years old, and the other one's about 86. They have trouble moving around, so our theme in the 4th degree is obviously patriotism. And it's a great way to show your patriotism by going down there and supporting these people. So I'd encourage everybody, the 4th Saturday of the month, May, is 27th. So it's on Saturday, 10 to 12. And we had Steve, Monty, and Lee typically go down. John's almost always there. And May is one thing. I'm not going to be there. I've got to go in and get a couple of new wheels. And June, we're supposed to sponsor the bingo. And I don't know if I'm going to be there at that point because I'm going to get the other wheel done just before that. So we're going to need some help. We need somebody to kind of take over and supply the dollar coins, which I have. Please see me after the meeting. If you're interested in just taking over for June. July, I think I'll be functional. So Christ said, whatever you do to the least of these, you do unto me. And if you've been down there, you've seen the least.
Thank you very much. And so, John, since you're an expert caller, or if you could be there, then to guide us that I can't even spell bingo, but I'd be happy to help both times take your place. So being a fellow knee replacement guy bilaterally, I feel your pain, literally. So, yeah. Yes.
I kind of need to be there when you set up, because I'm going to keep us.
Well, we'll discuss that.
We can work something out.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you very much, though. We'll make that happen. You don't have to worry. You just worry about here. We got it. Okay, so report of the trustees. I think John House said that he was going to be unavailable out of town, maybe this week. So, no report, and we'll get back to that shortly. Assembly financial audit. I had still not done at the time of this going, but we did that. The audit and both the finance and activities. And one thing that I learned is that really got to pay a lot more attention as to who's showing up as, because they want specific numbers to be reported back. Again, that all has to deal with organizational tax exemption or whatever that we're truly out there volunteering our time. The next item is tax filing, and I have to thank Daryl Stasky for his time. I got to meet the dog and the cat in his home, but he's so patient on the computer, sat next to him, and he went with the website, had the file, and signed off, and which I got copies and I shared with our faithful controller. So thank you for sharing that information. And thank you for filing that for us on our behalf. Election of new trustees. So our next meeting will be the 5th of June. And right now I have two candidates, Brother Jerry Sullivan and past Grand Knight Mike Watson. Now this is what is really important to emphasize, is that the trustees have the responsibility of one, assisting the admiral, assisting in the admission process of new Sir Knights, and most important, doing the audits of our comptroller and purser on a regular basis. So besides the semi-annual, generating a semi-annual report that they sign off on, In addition, they should be saying, show me your bills for this month. Let me see what you paid out and see if they coincide. I'm missing the word, but that, in fact, everything's on the up and up. And sometimes I'm learning more than what I want to know. But in the Knights of Columbus, in the past, there has been some improprieties with finances. So you have the comptroller looking at the person, making sure they're writing the right checks, and you have the trustees making sure everything is on the up and up. And so it's a balance, checking one another and make sure that things are being done according to law. So with that, right now, anyone else that is interested in being a trustee, again, you can offer your name between now and then June. In June, we'll have the between now and June 5th to come up either as a candidate or a suggestion for another candidate. But to wash a dirty laundry is that I have experienced 11 straight months of no report. It's unacceptable. It's dangerous for us. And we are to do the accountability for our assembly that is required and needed. So, into that. Unfinished business, fourth degree. I'm not going to go through the laundry list. I have my agenda so specific that you know what I would actually say. But everything seems to be on north, and the only thing I don't have is maybe 5 potential candidates who may be coming to Napa. And what I don't have is an accurate food account for the night of the dinner. And by 1 o'clock, I'm going to make a call first on a phone call or email to make that decision. I'm guesstimating that I'll need to have to provide enough food for 80 people, which includes taking care of our servers who will be working at least 4 to 5 hours taking care of us. They start working at 4:30 with the cocktail hour, and then serving us, and then bussing our tables, and then there's dessert. Again, down here, I was just really impressed that St. Paul's was sending 10 candidates to our exemplification, and one of them being a priest. So I was so tickled. So now we have a priest and a deacon attending our exemplification. So I'm real happy with that. June 16th, save the date, Boise Hawk. I have the numbers I need to have us go in. Right now, I'm at about 36 individuals. I have Jeff Banks, who's bringing this a multi-generational family with them. They're 15 plus 3, 15 adults and 3 children. It's going to be a blast. You know, it's truly making it a family affair. We have 3 deacon couples coming. We have one priest, Father Manuel, coming. And so it's really going to turn out to be a really good event. And again, the gates open at 7. I'll be there way before, and I'll have tickets for those who have paid. And what I'm going to do as of tomorrow morning, not only will I send out a list of the candidates that I know for the exemplification, the list of people I have that I know for the meals, I will send out 3 weeks before the 16th, the individuals that have signed up and paid for the ball game. So everybody's in the know. That's really important to me. So again, it's $25 for adults, $10 for a child by definition is between 12 and 3, and under 3 is free. And during that hour, 7 to 8, it's all that you can eat, and that beer and wine at half price. Okay. So under new business, special presentation. So I was shocked when I called our Ruben, and I said, Ruben, I want to invite you to our exemplification dinner, and I want to sponsor you, you and your wife. And he said, Joe, I'm sorry, I can't attend because I'm taking my wife out. I think it's for anniversary or whatever, they're going out of town. So I was really disappointed about that. So again, so Joe, where are you coming from? I look at Tom Sorge, Dennis Coons, Dennis Shaw, and a lot of you as that's the gold standard that I want to strive for in volunteering. And during the fish dinners, who should come out from my kitchen is Rupert. And it's, oh my God, you're never too old to volunteer. And I remember the older Sir Knights at pancake breakfasts, they would have their chairs lined up, sitting there. Hey, Joe, on the other side, the fork goes on the other side. Or, you know, just love it. That's what they did. They volunteered the supervision. And for me, I said, that's what I want to be able to sit in that chair one day, because you're never too old to volunteer. So I was hoping that he would be here. And I had the write-up of his Lifetime Service Award, thanks to Jerry Sullivan. It's very meaningful, but what I'm going to do is cut to the chase and just read the plaque that I was going to give him tonight, or what I meant to give him on our exemplification. With 25 to 30 candidates, there was no time to recognize each other for volunteering accomplishments. And that will have to be another special dinner, which I hope to have soon. So, certificate of appreciation presented to Sir Knight Reuben Agudan, a living legend. How old you are is just a number, ... You're never too old to volunteer, exclamation. Bishop, the Vester W. Training Assembly. And so that's what I was going to present him Saturday night. And I was hoping he was going to be here tonight to present that. So you're in the know, and you got to keep it a secret. But I was just so excited that I might have had the opportunity to present that to him. You're never too old to be a gold standard. You're never too old not to volunteer. And I just love the guy. He's just terrific, always happy. And he's physically, I remember at the barbecue, he's taking what we're cooking back and forth. And he was as happy as, like he gave him $1 million, you know? He's so happy to serve and everything. Okay, next is report of the third degree.
Navigator, tonight we're going to be talking about officer elections coming up. Still got a couple more spots open. Pancake breakfast, leadership for the Oktoberfest banquet dinner, whatever it is that we're going to do. We'll be asking for leadership on that. And we'll be discussing the Silver Road and a few other things.
And just FYI, if some of you are not here for the council, On Thursday, I meet with Father Vitalis to talk about Mass in the Park, which is September 10th. Again, we're not playing a part in it other than being parishioners who happen to be wearing our Knights of Columbus shirts, helping those who might need assistance. But it is the Lord's function, and so we're going to get parishioners to help put that on. And the big decision is whether to have Mass in the Park here at St. Ignatius backyard or go back to Settlers Park to have it there. Good of the order, so history, you want a history, get your history. And then regarding our namesake, Bishop's SW training, how to pray. And I sent that in the email. I had little thoughts after the fact at press, I'm there in the morning typing, and I had no one to talk to but my dog, who after he's eating, he's sleeping. But adoration has really made a big impression. I've done it before in the past, but it's your words that influence me. So anyway, one thing I probably would have changed and what I sent out in my summary about how to pray, and that's his gift, and I have hard copies there if you want to read them, is that I said I started to cry. I probably should have said in a manly way, I got emotional. Okay. But until you've gone through chemo, and until you've gone through radiation, until you've gone and you've been notified you had one of the worst cancers, you get a little emotional. And I think what made me a good nurse and a good commander is that I could be sensitive, but I had the skill set. If I had to take you out, I could do it at the same time. And it's okay. I'm Gemini, I'm a June baby, a schizophrenic as hell. So, anyway, with that said, but very, very telling of what Bishop Chanin had to say. And I thought I'd share that with you, because that's part of our history regarding why this assembly has his name or honors his name. So around the room, anyone have Jerry, you want to talk about that?
We talked about those yard sale, yard flags for the Six Flag holidays. And time kind of got away from us. We didn't have a lot of open discussion on this. And we didn't do the sign up. So what brought this up a year ago was the Boy Scouts in my neighborhood used to come for $40 a year and put those flags up 6 times. You drive around Eagle, you'll see them all over the place, complete neighborhoods in almost every single house. And in my neighborhood, I would say half the homes had these flags in their yard, and the Boy Scouts would come by, put them out at the end of the night, dusk, pick them up, $40 a year. So got a hold of the people down at Merrill Park that do the Memorial Day flags and said, where'd you get flags? And can we get the flags? And she said, well, you could buy some from me after Memorial Day. And then she stopped talking to me for some reason, because I don't know why. And because I think because we called Continental over in Sandy, Utah, and said, what if we buy these new? So the flags, if you buy in bulk, are like $25 a flag. If you ship them over here, it'll be like $37 a flag. And we thought we'd add X number of dollars, and we would do it as a fundraiser for $50. And in fact, it is in the approved budget for this year. And we're down to the last month here. It is in the approved budget to spend $2,500. Technically, we were going to make $2,500. And the goal was to have no money out of pocket. So we would take orders at $50 a flag. And deliver them before Memorial Day, or actually have them at this meeting. So it would take a lot of work right now to get this program going and get these flags here. But if we had a commitment for 50 flags and we bought 100, that second 50 would be paid for. So if we didn't sell them all to the parish or between now and through the holiday, through the seasons, it might be something that you guys say, well, let's table it for a year because literally we need them to be out there by Memorial Day. You got 6 days. They come with a flag, it comes with a rebar thing, you hammer it into the ground, you put it in front of your property. And they're pretty popular. The Mormons used to have the Boy Scouts, and that was their big fundraiser. And then the troop in my side of Eagle disbanded, and I tried to buy their flags and they wouldn't sell them. So I guess I'm just kind of opening it to if there's any interest and we should somehow kick it and do this, or if you think we should wait a year and take a look. And I don't even know if the price they offered us last year is the price that's available today. They sent us a bid good for 10 days last May at $25 flag kit. So open to feedback and we'll run with whatever direction people think they want to go.
So just know that flags are out presented in the yard because you have Flag Day. And then you have Veterans Day and so on and so forth. So, I mean,
Very close to looking like that. If you
Yeah.
guys have been to any of those events, it's like the ones we have in the room there.
right. So if there's any interest, please get with Jerry or I. Again, what you have seen in neighborhoods where people would have this flag almost like that in their front yard. With a stake in the ground. So. Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Yes.
I think you want an answer whether to table or go ahead with it.
Yeah, if I saw the raise of hands of people that would be interested in buying one or being a part of it, then I would know to make an effort. And if it's, let's wait a year, I'm happy to do that. You'll fire.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll wait.
So we should table it.
Okay.
We need a motion to do that since it's in the budget.
I'll just take it in a minute.
Okay.
Okay, anything else, anyone? Huh?
Good as they go
Yeah, I'm doing next, right? Okay, good.
have the floor for a couple of minutes. A few gentlemen, most of you probably know Brother Tony Frugletti, right? He's been holed up down in Tucson, Tempe, Arizona for the last 2 years. Because he was sick, went through a lot of trouble with his heart, his dialysis, and his wife was deathly sick. Unfortunately, Reba passed away about 2 months ago. And I think I've put his name up for the good of the order and his wife Reba for about the last 2 years that he's been gone. Well, I'm glad to report Brother Tony will be on his way back to Boise this coming Monday. And so if you happen to see him, I talked to him today. He wanted me to let you fellas know that he's alive and well and he's coming back. And he thanks you from the bottom of his heart for all the prayers. And if you happen to see him at church or whatnot, you might, say hello and maybe express your condolences. I don't know how long he'll be up here. It might be for the summer because he's still got a house and a couple of cars down there in Tempe he's got to deal with. And he's got his other house up here and a couple of cars he's got to deal with. So he'll be shuffling back and forth. Anyway, he just wanted me to say thank you so very much for your prayers. And he could still use a few prayers. He's got a lot on his plate. Anyway, thank you.
Anyone else for the order? Yeah, Robert.
Parser, what's that, Paul Evers?
For person, prayers for him to get over. I want to say he had pneumonia and then he got strep throat. So, he really sounded pretty bad, this afternoon.
Faithful Navigator, I stand to continue prayers for one of the priests of the diocese, Gabriel Morales. And because of our prayers, he has actually turned a pretty major corner. He had, I believe it was 2 broken legs and a broken arm, and he will need to learn to walk again once everything is healed enough to where he can stand. But he has really turned a corner because all the surgeries that they had planned, they were able to do. And he was able to start to heal from all those. And at the state convention this year, I don't know, I'm sure a few of you have heard, or maybe a few of you have attended, but we tend to really enforce the fines at the state convention when you step out of line or if you don't follow the rules of the order. So you forget your card, or you might forget your lapel pin, which I did this evening, so I'll pay $1 to somebody. But at the same time, we use that fine money to pay it towards Father Gabriel Morales's GoFundMe account. And that money has been used to help his parents, who he was taking care of before he got into his accident. So I would ask continued prayers for him. Also, the state deputy came forward and asked for continued prayers for Sean Burlisle's wife, who is continuing to fight scleroderma as well as a new cancer diagnosis, and also prayers for John Webb's wife, who also needs prayers for cancer.
Joe?
I asked for your prayers for my wife. We're only going to Cedar Sinai this coming Wednesday for her procedure to upper. So, your prayers are appreciated. Thank you.
I have one here, Robert versus Jessic called me and Ron Catco's wife, that Ron Catco it will be going to St. Al's on Thursday for a medical or surgical procedure. We didn't know why. In the past, it has been the shunts have been not patent, staying patent, but I don't know that for a fact. So his wife asked that we offer up prayers for Ron Catco, especially this Thursday. Is there any other? Is there no other? Okay. What's Sam or Neil? And the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Give us this day our daily bread. And we forgive our trespasses. Hail Mary, full of grace. Glory be to the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, as it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be. Amen. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen. We declare this meeting adjourned. Thank you all for your attention.